Welcome to the In Season podcast, rated R for language.
None of us are doctors or neurologists. Things you're about to hear are opinions of people living with epilepsy or seizures. These are firsthand experiences. Epilepsy can cause speech problems, and medications are hard to pronounce, so please bear with me. Epilepsy can cause bad memory, so some stories will be repeated. I'm Pookie. Get ready.
Here's somebody else asking about a bunch of seizure types, saying, "Hi, I recently had a severe head injury and found out I've been having seizures. I have never had seizures before, so this is all new to me. I'm doing a 72-hour EEG currently and was told that if I have another seizure, I should go to the ER since this is all new. However, I'm not familiar with all of the different types of seizures. Mine have been strange. Please tell me what I should look for." Well, I mean, the tonic-clonic is the first one I would think of, but definitely be more specific about if you just don't feel there. Push the button as soon as you start to feel off. What would you tell somebody who's doing their first inpatient stay?
If you get the vibe of what is this, press the button. Or if you get, could this be a seizure? I press the button. And I'd be like, I thought something was gonna happen. I felt bad vibe and it didn't come, but I pressed the button just in case. I mean, they're not gonna get mad because you press the button, so press it whenever you can.
And the comments are talking about, yeah, what's up?
Oh, go ahead to the comments, then Kevin can do the icebreaker.
First of all, I'm sorry to hear the news, but it's hard to say what kind of seizures they can be because there's so many different kinds. I've got TLE, temporal lobe epilepsy, and I get 4 different types depending on what way the electrical impulse has been triggered. But we'll say don't drive, drink, or swim until you get to know what kind of seizures you have. Get in touch if you ever want to talk, dealing with it for 15. Yeah, neurologist wants me to see infectious diseases because they seem to dissipate when I take an antiviral. I took one before bed last night, slept fine, but once it wore off, woke up feeling extremely nauseous for a solid 30-45 minutes. Is nausea related to a seizure? I would think that could be a trigger. Has nausea ever been a trigger for a seizure, or is that always like an after lingering postictal thing?
I feel very, very, very severe nausea. When I was in the EMU, the only seizure I remember, because one of them I had when I was asleep, I turned to my partner and said, I really don't feel good, or I feel like I'm gonna puke or something like that. And that's the last thing I remember. And apparently I had a massive seizure. But the doctor told me later that when I turned and said that to him, I was already seizing in my brain.
Yeah, that's how we find out that auras are seizures. Because a lot of times those feelings that you can actually still remember, that's what I always comprehended as the feeling before the seizure. But like you said, the doctors turn right around and tell you, no, you're already in it at that point, but it hasn't spread to or something, something like that.
It's its own special kind of nausea for me.
Okay. So it does feel different, and that's how you know it's seizure, not, just eating something bad.
Yeah, it comes out of nowhere and it's very, very, very bad.
So they keep asking more about what other kind of seizures are there. Last week, the same thing with the feet and cold, and I wake up with a 96-degree fever. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a fever. And psychosis. I got stomach medicine this week, and so I've been eating more. So psychosis has gone away. Right now, the EEG looks relatively okay. Not like they know how to read it. I just don't know how to check the history to see if I was having a seizure in my sleep. Yeah, so this patient's definitely just unsure of what's going on right now. The best advice everybody has just given them is keep the staff involved anytime you think it's a sensory seizure or whatever could be triggering you to just not feel right. Push that button.
I got something here. It says 1 year seizure free. Looking for some advice. In less than a month, I will be 1 year seizure free, and it'll also be 1 year since being diagnosed with epilepsy. I was hoping to ask for some advice, or maybe even reassurance. I have so many conflicted emotions, obviously happy, but also sad, stressed, and sort of angry. I know others with epilepsy have it so much worse, and I feel so privileged to say I've had seizure free for 1 year, but how the hell do I deal with these emotions? Any support is super appreciated. I guess when I come up on my almost 4 months, because I usually have them every 3 to 4 months, I just wait and see what happens. My last one was July 13th. So yeah, expecting one soon, unfortunately.
Well, when I know it's a catamenial trigger, that's when the emotions come out of nowhere. I can tell I was doing something normal. Obviously, I was out of it for a while if something is out of place, and I come back with like tears streaming for no reason. So just don't let it overcome your common sense. You know what you're supposed to do. Remind yourself exactly what steps to take after you come back from a seizure, and don't let the emotions get in the way.
Emotions get in the way of seizures, or
Or maybe just
sorry.
emotions become more I don't know, powerful. I can't think of the word.
Okay, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Like you're coming up on 7 years. How does that feel? Are you ever thinking
Oh, okay,
any
I'll go with
emotions
that.
come through?
Um, well, I keep saying the clobazam has kind of mellowed me out, and I'm kind of, but yeah, not really feeling much. Kind of just still feeling numb, but I don't know if I'm gonna have a party or something, 7 years seizure free in November or something, you know.
Why
But
not?
At least get a cake. Come on, something
oh yeah,
festive. Nice sheet cake with a brain on it or something.
I'm gonna
yeah.
get you a championship belt from Amazon.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have a
It'll,
little
You're
gift
the
bag
champ.
coming.
it'll be a very bland cake, sugar free, caffeine free, everything free. It could still have edibles in it though.
I'll be back
Um,
later on. Got to go.
Have a good
Sorry.
one. Thanks for coming by.
All right, I'll try and be back later.
All right, great weekend.
Always.
All right, so it'll be a special cookie cake, no frosting. Yeah, we got some ideas.
yeah, just no stimulants. Yeah, something very simple. Yeah, I mean it's just I do appreciate my health. I guess that's the bottom line, and just try to keep moving on from there. Uh, but for this person, shouldn't feel guilty. I mean, he said he felt privileged over feeling 1 year seizure free. It's
Something like
what
that.
what a strange thing. Not to judge them, but shouldn't feel privileged over having a disability.
Yeah, never feel
I mean,
guilty about success.
you should feel happy over your success.
Yeah,
This
so that sounds like a
person.
good support system. Discuss it with a trusted someone. But the icebreaker for you is, would you rather be able to teleport or stop time?
Teleport or do what now?
Or stop time.
Stop time. Ooh, that's a tricky one. There's a Twilight episode about that stopping time. That's that does not end well. So I'll teleport
Okay.
just because of the
Another one on the
Twilight Zone
teleport
episode.
side.
Yeah. What did everyone else say?
Love the logic. Love the logic. Just about everyone said teleport as well.
Yeah, I'm the only one who would stop time.
You can work on the stopwatch then, just like the guy in the episode. You can.
I have not seen the episode, but I understand that it does not end well.
None of them end well.
None of, yes, right. Um, I don't know. I think it'd be interesting. Get into some hijinks, see if Fort Knox is really empty. maybe I could get in there if I stop time. Probably
Yeah, you
not.
might have a little more freedom stopping time. That's true.
Would I be stopping time like across the universe or like
I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah. Would the time stoppage propagate throughout the universe, or is it the whole thing all the time? That would be interesting, because could be kind of an extreme form of time dilation. We could be getting relativistic here. Would be like gravity waves moving out at the speed of light. That'd be a
so
pretty cool superpower. I mean, the rest of
like
you guys just hop from one place to the other. I'm sending shockwaves through the universe.
Mark, you could teleport into the Fort Knox and see for yourself rather than stop time and then teleport anywhere else you want.
You'll look like the
Well,
Flash because everyone else is moving slow and they're gonna be like, what is that?
no, it wouldn't even be a flash. I'd just be, time is stopped. There's no movement. Their eyes are
Oh, I
not
thought
perceiving anything.
I forgot. I'm thinking slowing down time. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
totally
but then
stopping.
you'd have to walk to Fort Knox. You could shut down the universe, then you'd have to walk over to Fort Knox. We could just teleport.
Could I mean, hmm.
This is
Or
probably
or
the
take
most
take
like
No, I
high
feel like I
conversation I've
feel like
ever
I
heard
have
anyone
to
have.
stick by
This is
this
awesome.
just because I want to be the contrarian here. I feel like
that's good. We always
I'm
need
gonna I'm
contrarians.
gonna I'm gonna figure out some way that I can use time stoppage that's cooler than your teleporter stuff by the end of this episode.
Okay.
Mark, by the time you walk to Fort Knox, Kevin and I will have it emptied already.
How would you be able to teleport in and out with time stopped?
We'd figure out a way.
You,
Mm.
Hmm?
you wouldn't need to teleport yourself out. Time would be stopped. You could just walk right out, bro.
Yeah,
Nobody would notice you. Everybody else is frozen.
my time stopping prevents you from doing anything.
Our teleportation is outside of the space-time continuum.
We have a safety zone.
Sure, but you need a space, a moment of time for your mind to make the decision to teleport, and that doesn't happen when time is stopped.
Hmm.
But see, how do you know? Because time has never been stopped before. So you
Well, because this is
technically
the
don't know that
hypothetical,
for
this is the
sure.
presentation that, what is,
I know, man. I'm just playing. I'm just playing into the joke that we're joking about, bro.
because if you need to think about teleporting in order to actually do it, then you need time to move in order for that thought to take place.
Man, if I had that much control and power to like change time and physicality and things like that, I would make it. The first thing I would do is make sure that none of us had epilepsy. All right. I don't give a shit about a fucking gold bar. I would make sure none of us had epilepsy. That would be what I would do with those powers.
I'd stop time right before I was diagnosed.
Or go walk around the Louvre at night, get to see the Mona Lisa without that whole crowd of obnoxious tourists.
Right.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, this
It could be the greatest art thief ever.
Feel lightheaded days after having a seizure. This might be wrong. If so, I'm sorry. I had a seizure about a week ago, and ever since then, every time I stand up, I instantly feel lightheaded and feel as though I am going to pass out. I've had an EEG done a day or so ago. I had a seizure because of a breakthrough. I had a seizure because of a breakthrough seizure a week ago before that hit. I've also had an increase in medication. I'm not sure where to go from here because I've always had this feeling, but never this strong before. My doctor has recommended a VNS, but is very worried about getting one. But I'm very worried about getting one, especially because it is a surgery. P.S. My EEG did come back very abnormal, but if that helps. TLDR. I've been feeling significantly lightheaded every day I stand up after having a seizure. And a week ago, 19-year-old female. Oh, that's just like a TLDR is like a summary.
Too long, didn't read.
Okay, so yeah, that's kind of a summary.
But it's always put at the end, so you have to read it anyway.
The first comment says, I'm not sure if this is normal or not. Same thing happened to me. Another one says, I feel postictal for a minimum of a week after a seizure. I end up watching tons of cartoons, only thing that helped me. One more says, I always feel off for a couple of days after a seizure, especially if it was more severe seizure. I had a VNS, but had it removed because of DV damaging the VNS.
Of what damaging the VNS?
DV,
DV.
domestic violence.
Oh shit. Oh man. That's yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
You guys, I don't get lightheaded days after a seizure. I think I'm pretty good after I take a good decent nap. Maybe the next day eat, feel better a little bit, but days after. You guys ever experienced days after?
If it's days
Yeah.
after, I wouldn't blame it on that same thing, or I would think something else jumped in. Like I didn't sleep right, I haven't been drinking enough, or skipped a dose.
Or maybe a concussion from the domestic violence.
Right.
Yeah, brain swelling is no joke. That's the
I haven't had like lightheadedness, but I've definitely felt after effects following a seizure for days. You know, I don't know if it's been up to a week, but like things like brain fog and just kind of a little slight dissociation, like feeling a little out of it. And certainly muscle soreness if there were convulsions, but lightheadedness, if I'm not sure if I am thinking of what the OP actually means, but I'm picturing like the hyperventilation type lightheadedness, and that's, I don't know, that's not a sensation I feel following seizures, but
If
again, I
it's
may be
when
misunderstanding.
if it's when she's standing up or something, it might be when they from a blood pressure drop.
Yeah. Isn't it a positional orthostatic
Tachycardia, POTS.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes, POTS, thank you.
Glad to have people know things that I don't know.
he's way smarter than I am.
Me too. I mean, he's way smarter than I am. Not
I
me.
knew what you meant, but you might be smarter than me too, especially today.
I'll
I'm
let
having
you
a day.
judge of that. You'll be the
no,
judge.
Andrew, you're
Not
not
me.
allowed. You came up with you came up with the tachycardia part of POTS,
Yeah,
so you win the prize for today.
yeah.
He came up with postural orthostatic. That's way more exciting
Hey,
than
You
you
had the
pronounced that just as well.
tachycardia. Yeah, and you actually pronounced it better than I did.
I was gonna say that's a word. That's an actual fucking word.
Mhm.
yes, it has to do with heart tachycardia, which I'm not really sure what that is, but
Tachycardia is a high heartbeat, irregular, high heart
I
rhythm.
okay.
rapid heartbeat.
I know
I'm sure it is. I was just being sarcastic. I was just being sarcastic.
Insensitive or not, I took a screenshot of the DMV letter that is coming in the mail today and sent it to a close friend. It is a letter that states if I can keep my driver's license or not. I talk to this person every day. I asked him to keep me in his thoughts, and this is how the conversation went. Me, this is a motor vehicle decision letter that is coming in the mail about my driver's license. Keep me in your thoughts today. Him, keep you in your thoughts. This can be a great teaching moment. Calm down and worrying and feel the results in your favor. Feel green. And it will also be so. I feel like keep you in your thoughts to be insensitive and dismissive. He said, I took it the wrong way, but I blocked his number, at least temporarily. Am I wrong? I feel like most people don't understand
Oh.
how much a seizure disorder and other associated disorders affect your life to have this that comes along with it. Is that insensitive? I say no.
Could you read the text message that that person sent again?
The guy said, I sent him this. This is a motor vehicle decision letter that's coming in the mail about my driver's license. Keep me in your thoughts. Then the person responds, keep you in your thoughts. This can be a great teaching moment. Calm down. Any worrying and feel the results of your favor. Feel green. And it will be so. I wouldn't have taken that offensively.
Yeah,
I'd be kind of pissed.
I
But
think that's kind of dismissive, like you said.
keep you in your thoughts. I mean, I don't know. It sounds, I kind of get a hint of maybe a little bit of new agey manifestation, like thought, if you think about it and focus it, you can make it happen in your, with your mind or something.
Take it into
I don't know if that,
existence.
but the the
yeah,
teaching moment and the calm down and stuff that makes sense. Just don't get worked up about it. And, it won't change the results by
yeah,
being
exactly. It
worried about it. So just
almost feels condescending, like the person just they have an actual answer, so they just want to use, their religion to make it seem like, oh, I'm so holy.
Yeah, there was
Just
nothing
just just
religious about
just
that, James.
just ask God and it'll make things better.
Bro,
Like,
nobody
James,
said
you're
anything
way
about
off.
God in that response.
You're way off, James. He's just saying stay positive. He's not saying anything about religion or God or anything. He's
Yeah,
just
Not
I
at
didn't
all.
saying
hear
keep
that.
positive thoughts in your mind. Mark
Yeah,
it. I mean, what Mark
well,
said is
okay,
right. It's a
I
new
I'm
age
sorry,
thing.
I'm sorry. The person did say, keep yourself in your own thoughts, and
Right.
generally
yeah.
Yeah, like
you have
get your
like a
shit
mass.
together yourself.
That has nothing to do with
Yeah, you have like a
religion. That's
mass school shooting, and the politician's response is thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers.
But the next
Sounds
one here
like
is
Personal
they were describing a sort of like
personal
basically
tragedy.
a mindfulness type of approach to this DMV letter that's in the mail that, just
okay.
um you
Just
know
think positive.
Think it
think
so and it'll
positive,
work.
think,
it's awful to lose a friend. You never want to lose. We don't get many friends in life, some of us.
Yeah.
And yeah, so just
No, but
sack up and call your friend because
at the
mm,
very least unblock the number.
yeah, don't do that. Yeah.
yeah, I know that would be going a bit far. But okay, no, I thank you guys for giving you or for you giving me all of your advice and your opinions on it. It's definitely things that I haven't thought of, and it yeah, it makes me and let me finish because I mean this in
More than welcome when you're ready. And service
Is
that.
it
about
frozen?
these. You guys are pointing out things that I hadn't thought of before, so I appreciate um all of your opinions on it, because yeah, you guys did bring up things that I hadn't thought of. Last time I had a legal driver's license was 2011, so it's again about bringing up. So yeah, I definitely have been close-minded about it. So thank you guys for putting other points of view out there for me, and making me realize that, yeah, I do come off a little bit of an ignorant idiot about it. I should have, yeah, thought about it from different perspectives. Thank you.
And that's the
We're
last
here
thing
to
any
pass the
that
knowledge.
crossed any of our minds.
We're here to give the knowledge. I've learned so much.
No, we won't stand to hear you insult yourself. Not allowed. No insult.
Hey, the great.
I know, and you guys listen to other things that I say about different, perspectives about different things too. So I appreciate that. But
Passionate,
yeah, it's always
passionate is
that's
the
why I
adjective
joined.
that came to mind there. You're passionate
Yeah,
about what you believe. So it's good to open up and consider, though, that's something that most people really don't have the capacity to do. So it's admirable.
yeah. That's why that's why I'm saying thank you guys, because I genuinely do mean it. Like, I'm sure we all know, we've all talked about it before. We don't exactly have like the biggest social group, right? None of us have a ton of friends. None of us go out very often because of our health situation, our traveling situations, things like that. So when it is,
Not a friend.
yeah, when we're finally able to open up and talk to somebody and get different perspectives and different views, it's always a good thing. And I appreciate y'all.
And James,
I
one other thing, even if we disagree, you're not an idiot.
Right.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, it depends what we're talking about, but yeah. sometimes sometimes I mean, like, obviously right now I'm admitting that I was ignorant about a certain subject. Like, I have no problem admitting that. I just want to know more about that you know subject. Like, I hope this doesn't offend you, Pookie. I'm just using this just as an example for this, but clearly you and I are different races, correct? like we can look at each other and we can realize that, right? But that doesn't make any difference. We still both have epilepsy. I would consider us friends. I would consider us, people getting along together. Like, none of that matters just based on this. So
Trying to
everybody,
take out of it, and we're just all humans.
exactly.
Just humans. It's
Just,
humans
yeah,
up and say stupid shit sometimes. So yeah.
exactly. So I don't care, even if I'm blind right now, I'd still be gathering all of this knowledge, from all of you guys on different perspectives and different things. And so none of that other stuff matters to me, at least.
All right, well, I got some of the comments in here. First one says, just sounds a little New Age manifestation, jargon, but he's indeed keeping you in his thoughts, is how I read it. That's how I read it too. Someone said he's not insensitive, just overly spiritual. Another person says, you're overreacting. That was not insensitive or rude at all. Another one, you're overreacting. Also, kiss that driver's license goodbye unless you go on a long period without seizures. Yeah, kiss that license goodbye. I did that a long time ago. Another post here says, I'm trying to stay medicated, just need some advice. Need some advice on what to do now. Now that I'm 26-year-old, I don't have my dad's insurance. I am purposely not getting the state insurance here in Indy because half of the doctors that I would need to see here for my epilepsy don't care to take the state insurance. So I'm trying to find a job that I could work with this stupid epilepsy as well as get decent insurance. At the moment, I'm having to pay out of pocket to see my neurologist, and I haven't been able to see her in about 2.5 months because I can't afford it. And because I haven't been able to see her, I may get a prescription taken away. as much as I'd rather not be on Vinpat, I can't just stop meds altogether. I know that'll make things entirely worse, so I need to keep this prescription until I have the money to see her again and potentially get new meds. Has anyone else been through a similar situation? What did you do? Any advice that can be give me on keeping my prescription so I don't get cold turkey without meds? I'm scared things are going to fall apart and my seizures are just going to get worse because I lose my prescription. Thoughts? I ran out of money to get my pills and I ran out of my insurance lapsed, so I had to pay for my pills like out of cash, and then I didn't even get a full prescription. I got a week's worth until my insurance kicks back in, and then they'll give me the full refill. But for now, they gave me a week's worth of pills for $17. So otherwise, the 3 months worth of pills that I get prescribed 3 months at a time was $690. So I was like, yeah, let me just get the emergency pack for now and we'll wait for the rest. And that's where I'm at. And I almost went cold turkey. The only thing left I had was some old Kepler sitting here. It's not actually that old. I was thinking about taking it, but I went to the pharmacy and they gave me the emergency pack. Nice cat mark. What's his name or her name?
It's
That's Kitty.
oh, go ahead.
Yes, that is Kitty. The
Okay.
Kitty from of Brainstorm Chronicles fame. Actually, I asked Toaster if she could name Kitty the ladybug after my cat. So that's Kitty.
Your name is Kitty.
Yeah.
Okay. I had a cat once named Miss
Cat.
Kitty, and I named it after Miss Kitty from what was the show? It's an old show from the 60s. The
I
woman
don't
was a
remember that far
prostitute. Um, stupid
I don't
knowledge.
remember that far back.
I've seen every stupid television show in the world. Oh my God.
Oh, dude, that sounds so familiar. I just can't. Yeah, it's on the tip of my tongue too.
Yeah.
Gunsmoke.
We'll remember when it isn't relevant anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
Amanda Blake from Gunsmoke.
But
Amanda Block.
Kitty got when I adopted her, I couldn't decide what to name her for weeks or so. And so I just referred to her as the new Kitty. Since I already had another one at the time. And after several weeks, I ended up landing on the name Bonnie, but she already answered and responded to Kitty. So the way I see it, she chose her own name. But it fits her perfectly, I think.
That's cute. That's pretty cute.
Especially if she responds to it. I didn't even think cats
Yeah.
did that really. That's like training.
Fine.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
My cat came when he was called.
You didn't have to like lure them with treats or anything?
No.
That's exciting.
Hey, dude, come here. And he'd come from the other room. His name was Dude. His name was El Duderino. He was named after
Big
God, I didn't name
Lebowski.
him. Huh?
Big Lebowski.
Yes, Big Lebowski.
Hey, that's
I was
awesome.
just thinking about that movie earlier today, thinking I need to watch that. That's crazy.
My sister had a cat named Cat.
That seems like not as original. I wasn't as original as I thought I was now. I'm saying
You don't think it's any more original than Kitty?
Cat and Kitty. I mean, that's pretty. Was it short for
I think
Catherine?
it's on the same
I don't think so.
spectrum.
No, just Cat. Yeah,
My niece calls her dog Dog Dog.
dog. Yeah.
I forgot the dog's name, but her name is not Dog Dog, but she's only 3. Yeah.
Give her extra ear scritches for me. I miss my kitty cat.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Somebody here had an interesting one saying, is it possible for one to wake up in the middle of a seizure? I hope I'm wording this correctly. As far as I never really had seizures, but there was this one time when I was around 13 when I was painting something in my room. I guess I became lightheaded from the smell of the paint, question mark. I collapsed, and when I woke up, my legs were violently shaking still, and I don't know what happened to this day, and it never happened again. So they want to know if this one time thing when they were 13, I'm assuming long since then, was a seizure. They're saying they woke up, legs were still violently shaking, and assuming that they went down because of the smell of the paint. Never heard of waking up in the middle of a tonic-clonic, but with just legs shaking, maybe that's
Yeah,
not all the
I
way
would
out.
say it was probably more due to the I don't know, the reaction to the fumes of the paint. You know, maybe it was something that an allergic reaction to that. You know, if it was something that they said that maybe like, oh, this just happened 2 weeks ago and this was the first time ever, then I can you know, then maybe, yeah, it's a little more seizure related or a little more, you know, serious. But it sounds like if they said that they've, you know, this has been a long time since they've had it happen and it's the only time that they've ever had it happen, I, I, yeah, I don't think it would be um, epilepsy. I don't think it would be a seizure. But once again, like we always say on here, we're not doctors, so it's hard to for sure give it, you know, an exact reply. But I just don't feel like that was a seizure. But that's just my ignorant opinion.
You don't have to
No
do
hate,
that.
know yourself.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
But
Sorry.
the
Sorry.
myoclonic, that's what I'm wondering if myoclonic jerks could ever be maybe what he was referring to as the shaking legs. I don't think I've ever
Hmm.
ever told me that I'm having those myoclonics, so I don't know how different that is than the like the whole shaking thing during a TC. But
Well,
maybe
I
if she
mean,
was awake during it, then it couldn't have been
I mean,
TC.
I have my body does that a lot during my seizures. But again, that's from what I've been told because I don't remember any of it because it is during a seizure. So yeah, I think if the person that's another reason why I was saying if the person, you know, woke up in the middle of it and their body was doing that, why would this is why I don't think it was, you know, a full on seizure because you probably wouldn't be remembering it halfway through. But
This comment here is interesting that it says, yes, this happened to me the other week. I was mid-seizure and honestly, thank God I woke up because it helped me remember my symptoms a little, but I was stuck with my neck hunched and I was on the floor of the shower. Then I remember losing consciousness again after that. It was weird and the first time having it happen. Yeah, so that definitely sounds like somebody that literally came to and oh, you know what, that was probably the definition of a cluster too. That's what I understand it to be. If you ever actually
well,
regain
yeah,
consciousness after a seizure started, then yeah, and then go back into it. But these like
yeah,
one
yeah.
random seizure things apparently are possibilities too. Another comment is saying that their husband's mom told them about a time when he seized as a toddler, no seizures before or since then. So maybe some of these patients are told that they just have a lower threshold,
Um,
lower seizure threshold, but that still doesn't qualify for epilepsy.
yeah.
and
Yeah, that's why I said it. Yeah, that's why I was like trying to leave the door open just a little bit and, you know, not put my foot down and say this is exactly how it has to be because I realize that it's different for everybody. But yeah, that's not a um what's the word? I don't know. It's not very common for, you know, for us who would have regular, you know, seizures to wake up in the middle of one and then remember, you know, remember it. That's all I was trying to to go.
Yeah.
Perhaps I missed
Yeah,
this.
that made a
Was
lot of
this
sense. Thank you.
a diagnosed person or anything?
No, this was somebody undiagnosed, never happened before or after that. She was painting, or I keep saying she, but
Okay.
it was never said he or she, but they were painting and assuming that the fumes caused the collapse. And when they regained consciousness, noticed that their legs were still shaking and just wanted to
Yeah,
know from
I would
everybody else's
also
perspective.
I would very much doubt that this is epilepsy or epilepsy as of now. I mean, it could be diagnosed later.
Mhm.
This was years ago or something.
Yeah, it's
No.
encouraging to see all the comments saying that toddlers have seizures. Like some people do have lower thresholds for seizures, but it doesn't actually happen again and never develop into epilepsy. That's exciting.
Okay.
All right, so this one is saying, how does this even happen? Doctor went in and I had a complete 360 tear of the labrum in my shoulder. He repaired that, did a bicep tendon, something, can't remember the name. He said I had way more damage than what was expected and recovery was going to be long. I had a seizure April 7th, was sitting on the couch, came to with a dislocated shoulder, went to the ER. They put it back, then 2 days later, while sleeping, it came out again. And now I'm having surgery Monday for a strap tear and another tear in my labrum in the shoulder joint. My question is, how do you dislocate your shoulder just sitting there? And did anybody else do something like this? Okay, so it sounds like whoever posted this definitely is positive that it was a seizure, but maybe fishing for somebody else to say that it definitely has happened that way. And one of the responses probably exactly what you wanted to hear. Depending on the seizure types, your muscles may have been pulling your joints at an unnatural angle, and coupled with the fact that it's already been dislocated a few days before, may have damaged it further. Dislocated joints are often not fully healed for several weeks and can be susceptible to a lot more damage if injured again while still healing. So yeah, since it was injured before, I wouldn't think it's a far shot to narrow that one down to a seizure. Anybody else ever woken up from, with some unexpected injuries that you assume was a seizure?
Yeah, I had a scar right here, and during the seizure, they said I face planted and I skidded a little bit, so I have a skid right here, big patch, scab for like a week. Yeah, but eventually I was one to just like not care about my injuries, stop letting stuff get to me as much, and stop letting it stress me out. And at that point in time, at that point in time, I think I might have been selling drugs. So I just went right back to the same place the next day with my scab. Hey, you guys had a seizure yesterday. Like, we know, we sent you to the hospital. Yeah.
I
That time.
have. Yeah. That's I didn't face plant on the concrete though. Mine was laminate flooring.
Hmm.
That one I
That can definitely still do
remember.
damage.
Yeah, I think I broke my nose, but I'm not sure. I had two really good black eyes.
Or there was this one time that I fell into a hole. Um,
Sorry, Pookie.
a hole that I was digging. Um, yeah. Once it got to 2 feet, I don't know what happened. I don't think anyone was watching me. I was digging a hole for a foundation to a patio, and I think all they needed was 2 feet. And he said I dug the hole, but then he said I had a seizure. He wasn't there and seen it, but everyone just noticed, I guess, because there's not a sound when you hit the dirt. Yeah. So someone noticed that I was in the hole. And when I came out of the hole, I was in the ambulance. No, I was in the ambulance. No, actually, I remember getting wheeled to the ambulance. I was like wondering, why the hell does my mouth feel like this? And like my top lip was like over my top teeth. I'm sitting there like, what the hell's going on? But then I pulled my lip and then it chipped my tooth. My lip was in between my teeth. So yeah, so I got a chip here. Wonder what had happened if I would have left the lip in there. Might have just come out on its own one day. But yeah, I didn't know that was gonna happen. I don't even know where the chip went, but it was in the ambulance somewhere.
Oh my God, well, I can't imagine how terrifying that must have been waking up in a dug hole. Was that? I don't
I
know.
woke up. I woke up out of the hole. I woke up in this on the stretcher on the way to the ambulance. So,
Yeah.
and they're asking me questions like, "Who's the president? Um, what state are we in? What's the date?" Stuff you know that I'm not gonna remember. So there's reason to take me to the hospital. So yeah.
Yeah, but waking up in a hole that you dug yourself, though, I get what Kevin said. That's like, oh my
Yeah.
God.
What else are you gonna think besides dug your own grave?
I was
You know
gonna
what?
say that's some creepy foreshadowing stuff right there, man. That's scary.
I always think like, what if no one came to get me? Then I just stood up and just continued digging.
Yeah.
That would have been crazy. But yeah,
Well, like Pookie too,
How
I
deep was the
mentioned
hole supposed to be?
it was supposed to be 2 feet deep, 1 foot
So
wide.
you were done?
2 feet deep, 2 feet wide. So they sprayed the lines on the ground and just dug from there. I didn't just like guess 2 feet here.
yeah.
Yeah, so there was that. I think I got to 2 feet. He said, he told me afterwards. She dug 2 feet. Thank you. Gave me some money. Um, I, we're not supposed to work. But there was one point where I was just like, I don't want to not work. I need money, and I don't just want to not work. So I found a guy from the church I was going to, and he goes and he gets people from like Home Depot in the morning to do landscaping work. And since we go to church together, I didn't have to go to Home Depot and get picked up. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was one of those people that was there with. Actually, I think that would have still been illegal, right? He gave me like $100 for a few hours. So yeah, basically did some yard work and dug a hole. But actually, before digging that hole, he had asked me, could I go in the attic? And I had thought deep on it, and I was like, I have epilepsy. And he was like, I think you can be in and out. You can be in and out. I just need you to hand me a cord. So I go in the basement and I'm on my stomach. And then there's a long pathway, and then you can see the hole, and he's holding the cord to me. And he's like, you see the cord? And I'm like, yeah. I swear I crawled like 10 to 15 feet, and it was somewhat hot. And I thought about it afterwards, like that was a dumb thing of me to do. And after that, I was like, well, dumb to do the hole too, I guess. So yeah,
Tell me that wasn't a live electrical wire or something you were working with.
I don't know. I had to plug it in. He handed it to me so he could put the light on the thing and the cord that the light was plugged into. I had to plug into this other thing. Yeah, laying down.
All right.
Yeah.
So that survival was a miracle.
Yeah.
Glad you're with us today.
At least you were laying down, so you didn't have anywhere to fall.
Yeah, I wasn't laying on my back to save, but people were like, oh, you can swallow your tongue. So I wasn't laying on my back. I probably just would have been flopping on my stomach or some shit. But
Yo.
that would have been bad. I got a post here though. It says levetiracetam. I said it right this time because Ann said it too much. Levetiracetam and oxycarbazepine affecting athletic performance. I've been on medication for nocturnal seizures for about 3 years now. I am 17-year-old male, distance runner and wrestler, and have become a slower runner as I've been on medication. Before taking medication, I was running 18 minutes in the 5K. Now I'm usually running 20 something. I noticed this change a few months after I started taking levetiracetam. After about a year, I switched over gradually to oxycarbazepine. However, I haven't noticed any much change in my times. After about a year on oxycarbazepine, has anyone had any similar experiences? If so, can you provide any advice on how to deal with this? And thank you.
I'm having a little trouble the top of my head. What are the trade names of those?
Oxycarbazepine and levetiracetam. Levetiracetam is Keppra.
Okay.
Oxycarbazepine is let's see.
I think it might be Tegretol.
Okay.
Trileptal.
Yeah,
Trileptal.
Trileptal. That's what it is.
Got the T.
Trileptal.
Yeah.
It's real close to Tegretol.
Yes.
I was
Expired
reading
last
about
year.
them today.
It expired September of last year.
We
You
should
might
have
probably
to take
throw
an
those
extra one
out.
of those.
I got some Keppra that expired in April. Some more Keppra that expires next year in August. I even got some Nasalium that expired the 25th, no, May 1st.
Oh, hold on to that one.
They're still usable?
Oh yeah. Definitely the nasal lamp. Don't get rid of the nasal lamp just because it's a little past the expiration date. The midazolam molecule itself is really stable. It's not gonna just lose its effectiveness just because it's past that one threshold. They set those dates for a number of reasons, but there's kind of a safety margin. They want to make sure that there is absolutely 100% no chance that it will be any less effective than anything, based on even the most outlandish, statistically improbable things that might happen to it. So, it's still effective.
Well,
And
that's why it
even
sounds
if
so
it,
suspicious. How they're
huh?
phrasing this about the AEDs too. Expired AEDs. While not common, some expired drugs can become toxic, leading to unintended side effects or complications like infections or kidney damage.
Yeah,
They
but not
started
the
with small amounts.
midazolam. The benzodiazepines are stable. Well,
I don't
yeah,
know. I'm
I don't
suspicious of what
know.
they're
I
trying to tell us
mean,
about
maybe I
Keppra.
should, maybe some of the different preparations might have, but the molecules themselves, you know, they
As
don't
long as they're
break
not
down.
exposed, moisture or whatever.
Yeah,
No, nothing breaking them down, and
sealed inside of any container.
One of the comments says all AEDs can affect how well electrolytes transport through your body, lower vitamin D and B complex levels, and impact your hydration levels. Hyponatremia, natremia, and hypokalemia can occur. It's usually mild, it just require mild dietary adjustments. If you think you're having problems, consult your doctor and get some blood work done. Did I say those right,
Hyponatremia.
Mark? Hyponatremia?
Yeah, hyponatremia is just low salt because I have that from the oxcarbazepine, and all they do is check my blood every few months and tell me to eat more chips.
I was surprised to hear a doctor say that too.
I know, but it's weird to have doctors tell me to eat more salt, but then my
Yeah.
doctors are telling me to eat more salt.
Got another one that says oxycarbazepine for 15 years works through your sodium channels. If you sweat, you're lowering your seizure threshold. Dang. And can and will have more auras and continuous episodes until you replenish your sodium. B8 was my answer until I switched to levetiracetam for 6 years. No longer have seizures after doing sweating exercises.
Especially when you're pregnant.
You guys sweat a lot, huh?
You just lose salt, but I had that hyponatremia problem more during the pregnancies.
Probably because you're peeing all the time.
That
Yeah,
probably didn't help.
got one that says
Yeah, looks like I got some.
help with mom with seizures. Hello, I've never posted on Reddit before, so forgive me if I do something wrong or weird. My mom had brain cancer, and after everything, she has begun experiencing seizures. She lives with my brother who takes care of her. The last seizure she had was while he was asleep. The doctor said they believe she was seizing for around 15 minutes. I'm posting in hopes of getting some advice and sort of any gadgets or ideas to help with notifications for when this does happen. One of my main worries is that my brother is a fairly heavy sleeper, maybe something that could detect a seizure or notify emergency, but nothing with a button, as she's prone to accidentally pushing random things on accident or even on purpose sometimes. Really would hate for an ambulance to show up for no reason. I'm also unsure entirely how these work, so if I'm wrong, please correct me. Also, I note that a service animal isn't an option for them for various reasons. The first comment says you can do a search on Google for the best seizure alert devices for seniors during sleep, and many different options come up, ranging from watches, videos to under mattress movement detectors. The would all alert a person on the phone who is capable of waking up. Epilepsy Foundation has a bit more difficult to see these specific devices.
Hasn't Sia had success with the Apple Watch alerting her husband with over a seizure?
I can't say 100% sure, but I think I heard that. But you know how memory goes around here.
I think I
pretty sure
remember
I-
somebody talking about the Apple Watch recently.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
has it. I know. It like checks her pulse and stuff, catches her pulse. I mean, catches when she checks it back, she can tell what was going on, the heart rate stuff and stuff like that. But
yeah.
I don't know 100% of what she's going through with that. But I also wanted to get one because it did seem interesting how the stuff she was explaining to me.
Yeah, I use my Fitbit that way with for the heart rate and everything. That's how I figured out that I had a seizure before going in for the sleep study. I was sitting after showering and resting heart rate was 66, and then in the span of a minute it shot up to uh over 180. And then right back down, and I didn't notice anything, except just an overwhelming urge to go to sleep. Um, so, um, that, um, that heart rate spike on the monitor there on the watch has some pretty interesting correlations. It's not, um, uh, where was I going with that? Um, oh, there was another time where a heart rate spike in the middle of sleeping corresponded with some seizure activity on the nanny cam. But neither of those with my Fitbit alone have any alert capability though. So I think that the Apple Watch does though. I thought that I remember the story that I recall hearing here. Somebody had said that it had alerted their spouse.
Forgot who that was, but I remember hearing that story too.
I mean, I am surprised that Apple hasn't come out with something to help epileptics. I mean, with all the indicators that
Yeah,
you
they have an
just,
app for it. They have an
oh, they
epilepsy app.
do. Okay. Well, yeah, well, then I'm not surprised at that because, yeah, that would be, seems like simple technology. So,
So the first and only comment says, "Oh, I read that one." Just told him to look on Google.
There's some actual medical devices as well, like
Yeah,
dedicated insurance covered watches that are a lot more reliable than the apps.
yeah, they have bracelets. You can get a what's it called, a subscription, and it basically does that. But I mean, Apple Watch puts the easier because there's no subscription. Once you got it, you got it.
And it does all kinds of other fancy stuff.
I got one here. It says, does anyone have any advice for someone with, as far as I know, not too bad epilepsy? So I've been on meds for a few weeks, but even before meds, it wasn't too bad. Just seizures every 5 to 7 months. But I don't know if my meds work yet on levetiracetam, but what advice would you give for me traveling? I want to travel the world, traveling to every country except North Korea. I was gonna try it, but now it's basically impossible.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you can travel everywhere but North Korea. Yeah, you can travel, don't worry. I get my pills 3 bottles at a time, which is 90 days. So mine might be different, but yeah, I went out of town for 3 months and had no problems. Even though I had my pills, I didn't have any problem. I think I still had a seizure there, but yeah, had my pills.
I don't know how it might work when traveling overseas if a prescription that you have is a controlled substance in a country that you are traveling to. And that would be a possibility with some of these benzodiazepines that were prescribed. Not, I would double check some of that. Um,
Yeah, I once read a post where it said the guy and there was a guy and his girlfriend, I believe, they went to Japan and he ran out of pills. Or I think she didn't count all his pills. She counted the pills or something, didn't have enough. And I think that's exactly what happened. But he was asking for anybody in Japan, and people were in the comments saying, "Oh, it's bad for you. You're gonna have seizures because you can't do this and this in Japan." And someone in Japan answered, and they told him to go to a pharmacy and talk to the people, and they'll help you out. And the responses, he said, "Sure." He went and checked it out, and he was like, "I got my pills, full months worth. All you had to do was pay for it." But yeah, it's very helpful to have this and people who know things that I don't know, because I would have ran out of pills yesterday or the day before yesterday. If I didn't know we can go get like emergency packs. Did not know that. So they gave me a week's worth of pills. It's better than nothing. But I was thinking start taking Keppra just
So I guess the lesson for traveling is just do your research, see if you
right.
can get emergency stuff in case you lose your pills, whatever. See what the regulations are. All good stuff to know.
When I travel, even though I travel like town to town around the Bay Area, I usually keep a bottle of pills in my pocket and a few pills in my little man purse. I don't know if that's the exact word. My little bag. I put it right here on my chest and I can dig in, get my pills, and or I have one in my pocket just in case I lose my bag. Still got mine in my pocket. Or if I have a seizure and they fall out of my pocket, I still got some in my bag because it is clipped to me. So try to do that.
Is that like a fashionable thing now? A man bag across the,
They
because
have all kinds.
I
I think
haven't
I have
been
like
sure
three,
how to, I'm sorry?
but I think I have like three. It looks like a fanny pack, but it goes across here.
I call it your
Uh,
satchel.
like a small messenger bag just flipped over on the front side. Something. Because I've been trying to figure out a not awkward way to carry around some stuff now that it's starting to pile up with, the Nasolam prescription is not necessarily easy to fit in with everything. Um, whoa, Kitty. Oh,
Oh, see this?
okay.
Yeah, it's right here in the pocket right here. I used to put my tablet in there, pills right there. stuff right there. Some more of whatever right there. And you can charge it, and then you can use this over here, charge your phone as long as your backpack is charged. Like,
it has a battery in it.
no, you can charge it. Well, yeah, it does have a battery in it. You charge it, and then there's a cord in here where you plug your phone in somewhere. Oh, right here, you put the little USB in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charge it and use it in public. But then there is
Do you remember where you got that?
yep, Timo. Then I got this one for Christmas. Which basically looks like a fanny pack, but yeah. Even right
Bigger.
here. My pills right here.
Remember the 90s fanny packs being that large.
Little
Oh,
CD.
what kind of pizza?
I got Madden 18 in here. Didn't know that. I've been looking for this thing to charge my pen for this thing's been on top of the closet for a year or so. Luckily, there's no pills in there. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, so the first comment says, go ahead, Mark.
No, I was just gonna say thank you. I've been kind of at a loss as to what to do with like my only option recently has been like this old beat up falling apart backpack that really needs to be replaced. So I just was not sure. But
They have all kinds.
that battery in there, that's a really cool feature. I think I'm gonna look for that.
Yeah, it's on Timo. If you need a link, just let me know later on. Yeah, it works. So, yeah. And it has a few different pockets. Like I said, there's a pocket that this whole tablet can slide into.
Cool.
At first, I didn't think so. I was like, hey, maybe not. But it just slips right in there. So yeah, it's a good backpack. Decent one to have. Especially if you have a lot to carry, you don't have a lot of pocket space. Like I said,
Yeah.
pills go in there, but if you fall, it won't fall off of you. But worst case scenario, someone takes it off you and rob you or something, which is not likely, as depends on where you're at, I guess. But yeah, keep the bottom.
Florida's a stand your ground state, so you know they better not try to take it off me.
Yeah, it is a standard ground state here too. So, but yeah, no one's gonna rob me. Yeah, the first comment says, not impossible, but I would recommend getting all the managed, in quote, managed by meds first. Your meds work, you may just need more of them. Only time will tell. Travel advice, put your medical condition and required meds info on your emergency screen of your phone. Bring extra meds. Probably should always travel with someone that can assist in case of a seizure. Get lots of sleep. Jet lag is a bitch. Another comment says, my best advice for traveling would be to find a travel buddy you truly trust and bring extra meds as well as paperwork for the meds. Other than that, travel away, just be careful. I got one here. It says, got my driver's license back. I had 2 seizure episodes in November 23rd. Now the last one was 12 months ago, and I have just got my driver's license back. Since the seizures happened, I have never felt myself with feeling spaced out, headaches, etc. Some days worse than others, some relatively okay. First seizure I had, no pre-warning, really, as I never had one before. Second one, I knew something was on the boil for about 5 hours before it happened. I'm a massive car nut. I have been out driving a few times with my wife and by myself, all without incident, and I, e.g. The EG period? What's that mean?
Like E period G period?
EG period.
There's some kind of Honda called an EG.
Okay, so yeah, it says massive car night. I've been out driving with my wife and myself without incident, and I, EG, know my reflexes are spot on. I just feel like I don't want to drive or feel I shouldn't not be when feeling like crap. I feel this is what I have to put up with now, but I will never get used to it. I just have constant feeling something is going to happen, but it never does. Anyone have any similar experiences? I just want to go out and buy some ridiculous car and have fun. I don't suggest it. Tom 101. I don't suggest it. Here goes to the first comment. It says, I got my license back almost 2 years ago and still often feel the shame. Every time I get in the car, I find myself questioning whether I definitely feel okay to drive, whether there's any chance of my reactions could be impaired, even though there's no real reason for them to be. I chalk it up to anxiety over the fear and the worst happening, a crash, a seizure, losing my license again, etc. Getting in the car and going for a drive means so much to those of us who have lost it before. So I suppose it's natural to feel like that.
I mean,
Or it says I kind of felt similar after starting to drive again. I assigned myself some rules so that I can make sure I'm safe out there. If I don't get enough sleep, feel stressed, have a migraine, feel weird, I just don't drive. But when I do, I feel fine. I just go and have fun, go where I need to be. I drove without having any problems from the age of 14 to 33. I spent 10 months not driving because of seizures. It was so weird. I got back to normal in no time. Just give yourself some grace, pay attention to your body, and trust yourself. Thoughts on driving, you guys? You guys got your license back? Let me get you a nice Ferrari, like James said.
Don't drive.
I
That's
don't
my
suggest.
advice.
see,
Mark, Kevin, you ready to drive?
um, I'm never going to drive in the city. Most people in the city can barely drive, and they're insane. So I'm not driving ever in here because normal people go crazy, and I don't want to be crazy and dangerous with a you know
Right.
car. So, but I mean, I would drive if I were living like out in like I don't know, one of the rural counties, like just plain roads. Yeah, I mean, I would get like a pickup truck and just drive that because it's there's no stress and very simple driving. I can't handle urban driving, just inner city driving because, like I said, but
Love
yeah,
it.
you got to be responsible though with what you do, and yeah, I'll just leave it there.
I still feel like it's too risky. I would have fun by just buying the cars for others. It's still
I
fun to
thought it
go
might
car
be
shopping.
fun. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It might be fun to go car shopping and just buy a car for someone to drive me and like give me a driver that can drive this car. It's a nice car. Um,
I I miss driving. I miss the physics of driving, the um you know, manual transmission, clutch pedal,
oh yeah.
throttle blip, uh shifting.
Dirt bike, four wheeler?
It was, huh?
Dirt bike, four wheeler?
Yeah, um I have had for a long time a fantasy of um, building building myself a track toy sports car. I had started plans on it. Um, you know, I have a mechanical engineering degree. I know a lot about the physics of getting, mass around corners in, four wheels. I've studied it. So it has been a pretty major blow to me in more ways than just the transportation, getting around. It has taken from me um, a life goal, a uh,
And that's not just the next hobby for the off season when you're not in the garden.
it's I mean I don't know. I still see maybe a possibility of, someday like a track toy closed course, but a lot of tracks require a lot of the same stuff that the state requires. So I don't know. But if somebody has a whole bunch of private property and builds a racetrack on it and uh you know that's no possibility of anybody around me getting hurt, only myself being in danger. um that's not something that I would entirely discount, but it's not anywhere near likely. So it's basically zero. Can't say 0% chance, but effectively zero. Um,
You know
so,
you're gonna have a chance to drive a golf cart one of these days.
well, I won't have a chance to adjust the spring damper ratios to get it around a corner better. Um, I won't have a chance to adjust the steering rake or the
Yeah, I have
I'm
no
sorry,
idea what you're
there's
talking about.
cat drama happening right around the corner here. The cats all are all hungry. They're used to getting fed around 7:30, so
Oh, okay.
I
All
gotta
right.
go. I'll be right back.
There you go.
Give me a few minutes.
I didn't know what
So
you
this
said.
one,
Everything sounded
oh, there we go.
interesting.
He's talking about what he got to do to feed the cats.
I'm talking about
And
the dirt
before that,
bike.
it was how to,
The,
no, it was how to trick out the golf cart. Or what he couldn't do with a golf cart that he would be able to do with building something. And yeah, I didn't know what any of those words were either.
they sound fun.
Yeah, right. Especially if you know what the hell they do.
Um,
So
all
this
right.
one here, we're saying somebody had a seizure 6 months ago, now has clearance to drive. Oh, go figure. All right. Had my first seizure in only 6 months, and I was told by the hospital, my doctor and neurologist, not to drive, so I didn't. I have now been given medical clearance by my neurologist and doctor and filled out a form with the transportation department, advised them of the conditional license. However, all the medical practitioners advised them in the first place. I've done something, or no, I've done some Googling, and they should have advised the authorities, and there are implications for not doing so. So this one's getting tangled up in paperwork already. I'm stuck as what to do next because I have a feeling this was something that maybe I was meant to do. I don't want to get into trouble by handing them the form, but I would rather do the right thing and be on the conditional license for 12 months. Yeah, they don't even say what state they live in, but somebody's coming right at them from Oregon saying you can't legally drive for 3 months. The doctor never notifies the DMV. And they just finished it up by saying, "Don't bother with the paperwork. You're all right."
My doctor called the DMV. I don't know what that person's talking about. I
Not
didn't
to
have to.
reinstate the license though,
Oh no, my doctor, he called to, yeah,
get
tell
it taken
them,
away.
kick him out if he goes there. Not those words, but
Close enough.
don't took the license. Don't let that guy get behind the wheel. Legally.
Oh, this person's in Australia anyway, so they're saying their biggest worry is insurance.
Mm,
If something happens in that year, it voids insurance for the rest of the year, no coverage.
shit.
It'll
Well,
probably cause my premiums to go up anyway.
well, here in California, or I don't know if it's the whole United States, but you have to have insurance now. I don't know if that's everywhere.
Proof of insurance at every DMV.
Oh, okay. So there's that. Um, if they're over there in wherever he said Australia, they might not
Yep.
have to have insurance. They might just be relying on their self when they crash, which also sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they have insurance, but maybe it's not required like it is here to be on the road. Just one less thing they can get ticketed for, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the people who are commenting back on this one saying they did get their license back, but it took 2 months. Like after the 12 months passed and they got the doctor's notes and everything signed, all the paperwork, they still didn't actually get on the road for 2 months after that.
Yeah. You want to be sure about everything. Don't try to trick the DMV or anything. Or not DMV. They don't have DMV there, but you don't want to try to trick the bureaucracy. You want to listen to your doctor, and especially on something like this. And certainly get back to driving when you're ready.
Mhm. This one genuinely scared me. My symptoms aren't the shaking, convulsing type. My wife describes this one as finding me hunched over in a chair. Blackouts usually last 30 seconds or less, recovery 5 to 10 minutes. Today, recovery was more like 45 minutes. Wife was asking basic questions. All I heard was gibberish. Son was there, was getting very agitated because nothing either of them were saying made sense. I couldn't remember my son's name. Wife had to tell me his name. When I did come around and was normal again, I felt very ashamed and guilty and couldn't even remember his name. Not looking for advice, just a place to vent. Oh, okay. Well, I know we can relate to that. I have definitely forgotten some things that I should remember and never came back. I think mine definitely take place more in the wherever memory happens in the brain. That's definitely what gets most screwed up. Anybody else with input on this one?
That's all very common here.
Yeah.
Nothing to be guilty about, nothing to feel ashamed about. I'm sure we've all been there, had those awful feelings, had that terror. Yeah, it's this is the partner writing us in, right? The wife writing
No,
us
that's
in.
him because he's saying my wife found me hunched over.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, this was definitely him venting because
Okay,
today was a longer one.
It could have been a
okay.
her.
He's been
What do you say?
okay.
Could have been a her. Could be him or her.
All right.
Oh, true, true.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Sometimes you just it's a scary thing, and it's tough to get through. I don't know.
Yeah, so they're saying hang in there. I know it's tough, constantly scared of mine, don't feel guilty. Um, Now, honestly, after hearing so many of these posts, I'm not so regretful that I never remember anything, before, during, or after. I'm saying. Okay, this one was the biggest help to the main poster, saying my daughter's seizure was almost identical to that. She gets overly aggravated. Her answers are nothing but cries. She speaks gibberish herself. She actually had one that was nothing but crying. She walked through the house to find me, then asked me a question and bawled when she was trying to answer me. No two of hers are the same. Recovery time is different every time. Luckily, hers come from the front temporal lobe where her short-term memory is, so generally she doesn't even remember. Emotionally and mentally, that's awesome, but medically, it doesn't really help. And just giving props, saying you're the strongest people around. Can't imagine what you go through, how you feel. It's amazing you keep going while your brain is zapping the wrong way. Truly remarkable. They have no rhyme, reason, or pattern. Nothing connects. The only three fun facts is that they occur when she's sleeping. She can't travel. They randomly started in 21 when she was 9, never experienced one before, and there is no one on either side of our families that had seizures, so totally unexpected.
That sucks.
Yeah, more one day at a time suggestions.
Like you said, take it one day at a time.
This one is saying confirmed CSF leak. I was going down the path of migraine, seizures with neurology. The ENT doctor collected my nose drippings and tested them, and now I have a confirmed CSF leak. Just wanted to post on here saying that I'm learning this may get misdiagnosed sometimes. So the CSF thing,
That's
I know we've had some other people. What do you think?
CSF.
Yeah, cerebrospinal fluid.
Oh, okay.
I don't
People are
know
asking,
anything about
what number
that.
is it?
So they're gonna
Okay, so
are they doing a test with the spinal fluid or something? Did you say?
well, they did.
Um,
She replied to, or poster replied to one of the comments saying neurology is thinking that I have migraine seizures, but the ENT caught the CSF leak. I'm assuming from the nose drippings. So now I'm getting referred to a new neurologist who will actually look into the CSF seizures. I'm very grateful for the ENT. All of my symptoms line up with a CSF leak seizure. So this is somebody that might even get away with not having epilepsy.
oh, my. Well, that's something. That's something to say. Always get a second second
Yeah, second
opinion.
opinion, maybe from another specialist. Get all your symptoms addressed. That's another one.
Advocate for yourself.
That's the one. That hit the nail on the head right there.
And I was not aware of CFF.
I don't remember what causes it or what the whole story is, but we can definitely find out from more recent patients. Because I'm sure they're going to join any minute now.
Right.
I only have seizures at night, no diagnosis yet. Hi everyone, about a year ago started having seizures only at night. Don't remember any of them when I wake up. The only way I even know they're happening is because of things like biting my tongue, being told I had a seizure, waking up really confused, or finding blood on my pillow. Last time it happened, bit my tongue so bad I was spitting. Had several tests done, MRI, EEG, blood work, and everything has come back normal, negative. It's frustrating not having answers. Has anyone else experienced nocturnal seizures and normal test results? What should I push for with my doctor? No, I think they're definitely on the right
EMU
track.
and EMU stay. That would be
They
my
do those at like,
recommendation.
yeah, that's probably the only way you're gonna get answers. Do they always do those for like a week though? Thought I've heard people stay there sometimes just for like 2 days.
I was told
Mine are
3 to 5.
3 days.
Okay.
What about filming the seizures?
What you
and
say?
showing. Oh, I've heard a lot of times you just got to film the seizures and show them to your
Oh,
doctor. Say, look what's going on. You know.
That can really help.
yeah, to get the diagnosis and actually get started on treatment. Yeah, I think filming it probably would be the better first step. If they can, though, that's pretty difficult with these nocturnal seizures that the poster's describing.
Nanny can or
There you go.
whatever.
Yeah, whatever surveillance you choose. First post here, response rather, saying the only seizures I have are nocturnal. Had two while awake, but that was from missing doses of meds. Have been having them for almost 20 years on Keppra, and as long as I take my meds, I don't have any. Have had all the tests, MRI, EEG, sleep study, extended sleep study, all negative or nothing found. They have never told me why I have them. I guess as long as medicine controls them, they don't have to figure out why. Also had breakthrough seizures, and they just increased the dose. Love the healthcare system. That pretty much sums it up.
Yeah. Oh.
Alright, so Kepra's a good first medication to try. Now they're making more recommendations of what to advocate for, basically what to ask your doctor for. That's definitely not what I would have wanted to do way back at the beginning, especially asking for a certain medication.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder, Keppra as a starting medication because they introduce so many young people to it. Um, because I've always said the teenage years and preteen years are, that because it's such a volatile time for young people's bodies, and maybe it's not the right one to start people off anyway, but
That's such a high
well,
dose.
yeah, and but what medicine isn't volatile, because I'm taking Depakote and that's terrible for your bones, and a young person wouldn't do good on Depakote. So I mean, it's pick your poison, right?
Yeah,
So
that's kind of what it
I
feels like.
guess Capra has the least worst side effects. I've I've heard, you know, besides
It'll be like
besides
another 20 years until we know what Xcopri really does.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one thing. I was prescribed Xcopri, no memory of them. It took a long time to get on the Xcopri. Oh, before this, they were talking about lacosamide and lamotrigine. Taking more milligrams took 2 months. Oh, so it took them 2 months to get to the Xcopri dose, but no seizures for 2 years. I did have one seizure recently, but hoping for 2 more years. Yeah, if you don't have that dependence, medication resistance thing, that gets annoying. Next one saying same results on my MRI, EEGs, also had a couple video EEGs. That's where you're in a hospital and they watch you daily. One lasted 1 week, another for 2 weeks. They took me off my meds on the second one to introduce as many seizures as possible. Oh, okay. So they're saying during the second stay. Nocturnal seizures, all normal testing. They could tell me where the seizures were coming from, but not why. Started tracking the cycle 5 years into the mess, and we related my seizures to the hormone levels, catamenial. We tested hormone levels and they were below normal. So the hormone meds for the last 7 years have worked best in reducing seizure activity. That sounds like another bright ending too. Lack of sleep is a trigger for a lot of people. Maybe that used to be a trigger for me, but ever since getting off of the benzo, it hasn't been an issue.
Oh,
Since
that's
they
good to
put
hear.
me on Xcopri, it knocks me out for about 3 hours.
How long did it take them to titrate you up to the full dose?
I honestly don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm on the max dose of everything that I take.
Oh, I hated that feeling. Especially on the Keppra was like 6,000 milligrams or something ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just it's crazy. Every time he tries to lower something, something happens. I'm like, I don't like this med change thing you keep talking about. It's so scary when they talk about med changes.
Yeah, especially if you don't have a stockpile, whatever they give you, if it doesn't work, then it's a whole nother mess to just get back to what worked a little better.
Well, and even you just don't know what the new side effects will be, whether they're gonna work, you know.
Yeah, it's an annoying process. Switching off of the medication, the old medication, I used to think was the harder part, but now that I've been on enough different combinations, I think it was starting one medication and lowering the other one at the same time that was probably the worst way to do it. But
Really?
that's what all the doctors told me to do.
I
But
think
when I
that's
was
the way
getting,
I've done all of mine.
yeah, that's how they told you to, I mean, that's how they tell us all to do it. But now that since I got the RNS a couple years ago, I remember the reason I got sold on that was because they were telling me that eventually this will control your seizures well enough that you can get off the medication. Too good to be true. I'm not, too optimistic, but when 22 or 23, like over the last 3 years, they were just trying to keep adding more, up the dose. I was on the max dose of Keppra, Fycompa, some other benzo, clobazam. And it was the switching from Fycompa to clobazam that was the last like bad transition that I decided to, kind of swear off how they've been doing it for the last couple decades and just did it on my own. I got off the clobazam. I got one of those pill splitters because those clobazams are kind of tiny to begin with. But I
Yeah.
went 2 weeks at a time with just a quarter less. So I didn't like cut it in half ever. I only did like literally a quarter less of what I was taking, and it didn't have any more seizures than usual, basically. So I like
So
how that went. Mhm.
you were on clobazam as well as the RNS. Yeah, I'm taking clobazam right now, and I like to get off any of my medicines. I really don't care. I'm taking the three I'm taking the pyramid and clobazam and Devica, just any of it. I mean, that's the idea, right? Is to lower or get off one of them.
Honestly, my idea was to get off the one that was most expensive, because sometimes those Schedule 4s or whatever, or whatever they call them, are the controlled substances are just harder to get a hold of, and if you can, more expensive. So especially with like a move, big move coming up, I don't know if they're going to switch insurance or what's going to go down. And if we have one less thing to think about, then I definitely have
Yeah,
a way bigger stockpile of the Keppra.
it's a tough choice because Devica ruins your body,
But it's like the
pyramid
only one
ruins
that
your
works.
brain, clobazam also ruins your brain. So you know, so yeah, any one of them I'd like to lower. I don't know why they've been so hesitant to lower my meds over
After
the
so
years. So
long too.
yeah,
And you're still on 3 different ones and they're not even talking about reducing.
yeah.
Well,
Have you
we can
asked
second
them?
opinion.
Have
Yes,
you
I've
asked?
asked. Yeah, and they've only lowered it once. They've only lowered 2000 1500 Depakote.
Ask again.
Well, yes, yeah. So that's something.
This one back at the original one was still talking about the nocturnal seizures. Did your seizures ever change? Like the types of seizures you had as time went on after you were taking different meds, or what would you credit those changes to?
For my whole life since I was diagnosed, yes. The myoclonics got much worse when I got into my 20s. Those were the ones that were killer, really, really killer. Um,
You're
why
aware for those?
Hmm?
Are
Oh,
you aware for the myoclonics always?
always, yeah. Yeah, they're very painful and um, and yeah, those are the ones I needed the VNS for. Um, the
What is that?
clusters, yeah, will go into
What does the
yeah.
myoclonic look like? I mean, you don't have to reenact it, but
They're hard to describe. They're just pretty much. It's like if they could be anything from a short, movement or at the most violent. It's like your arm is being tased and your loss of control of a limb or a brief movement and yeah, it's like it's like an electrical pulse down a limb or one half of the body. Oh, I can
Was it always on the same side of the body for you?
no both
Okay,
sides.
so you think the focal points kind of changed?
Um, it, um, it 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 would be it just okay. I just looked up the definition really quick. It's a
Okay, yeah, it's fine.
sudden brief shock-like jerks of a muscle group or group of muscles. So sudden jerks that make a person drop something with they're holding, or repeated jerks, sometimes mistaken for clumsiness that can affect the arms or shoulders, neck, or the whole body. And they vary in strength. So, I mean, that's the real problem. They can, sometimes they get really, really strong, and or sometimes they're just very small. So it could be, my face twitching, or like I said, I had that problem with a college professor who didn't realize I was not trying to kick someone's chair. It was
Right.
actually that violent. And I literally could not stand at one point. I was unable to stand on my own. The myoclonic clusters were that strong because I kept standing up and half my body was falling down. This kept happening over and over again.
I heard about that
Mhm.
college story again. It reminded me of this post. Somebody just said, so I'm a sophomore in high school, been 5 years seizure free. This always makes me die inside and embarrassed. Every single day I have to walk with an adult, sit next to them 6 hours a day to make sure I won't have a seizure. I hate it so much, and I don't even talk to people in my class because of it. I have to tell people why have to be followed around by an adult. I always cry when I come back from school because I can't have a normal life, just isolated and depressed. Every time I tell my parents, they brush it off and saying I'm being dramatic. It's for my own good. 3 more years, they're saying. That truly sounds miserable.
everyone way.
It is, and it can be, and yeah, kids kids are just ruthless at at that age sometimes. So if they decide that they're gonna make that person a target and pick on them for that, they're gonna they're they're gonna do it, and they're gonna keep on doing it. And unfortunately, because of how the school systems work, that student is gonna have somebody that will follow them around, and yeah, that probably is gonna make them a target for getting picked on. Well, it does make them a lot, you know, safer. Obviously having somebody with them around all the time that might make them physically safer for the little bit of one or two seizures they may have, but it's
No
definitely
better
not
for their
making
mental
them
health.
feel exactly. I was gonna say it's definitely not making them feel any better for their mental safety. So that's really tough for that person. That's yeah, I definitely feel for them. That's tough. That's tough.
Got some comments, Kate?
Actually, it was all four of them were just saying the same thing. I feel really bad for you. That's crazy. You have to go through that. You know, total sympathy.
Please take your medication as prescribed or whatever works for you. We're not doctors.